everybody. I am so excited to be here at the book launch for Unleash the Greatness by none other than Kay Fluellen. Kay, I have to tell you, we are so excited and so proud of this amazing, amazing work. Tell me how you feel right now.
I am pretty excited. I am pretty excited. Thank you so much.
She's got to be excited because this work is, in a lot of ways, even at such a young age, is a life's work for you, isn't it?
I think that I've had a lot of life, and I think it is definitely depicts a lot of who I am. Actually, it's just notes from my daily journal. So yeah, it's an insight of who I am.
Right. Okay. So all of us want to know, what was the inspiration? I think so many people have great ideas. I know you guys would agree. We think great thoughts. We have great ideas, but bringing those ideas to fruition is another thing entirely. So can you give us some insight, some background? What was the inspiration behind the book?
That's a very good question, Lisa. Thank you so much for asking. So how we got to this point is that I am normally a very optimistic person. And so after having gone through a series of events in my own life and kind of losing some of that enthusiasm and joy and excitement, then I had to begin to kind of encourage myself. So I chose, because I'm a natural writer, that is my natural inclination, I chose to just start writing my own self-daily motivations and inspirations. And as I did so, that began to, I started to share it with friends who began to share it with other friends. The movement started to grow. And then once I started to realize the way it was blessing other people as much as it was blessing me, then I decided that this is something that I needed to pen and share with others.
I love it, Kay. Can you give us just even more insight? Like, what was going on in your mind as you were writing these thoughts, as you were penning these inspirations? First, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that these inspirations were really for you first, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so talk to us about
You know, I hear preachers always say that I have to preach to myself before I can preach to the audience. This book was kind of written to me first. And again, like I said, I started out writing these to myself. I started writing these because after just a series of life events, from health challenges to financial challenges to family issues, my mom's failing health and all of those things, it started to be kind of daunting and overwhelming. And so what I decided to do then was I decided that this year was going to be a different year for me. So I just started writing, and I decided that every day I was going to give myself some quiet time, some motivation time, some inspiration time, some Bible time, some prayer time. And in doing so, I would leave myself with a takeaway that I would write in my journal. And from talking about it to a friend, I decided to first share it with one friend. And then decided to share it with a second friend who shared it with somebody else. And then I decided, I'll share it with this friend. And then the movement just grew. And again, here we are.
I love it. So in a lot of ways, Unleash the Greatness, you guys, is not only a book, it's an inspiration, it's also a movement. One of the things that I'm hearing from you, honestly, is discipline. You had the discipline to write the book, you had the discipline to journal, you're a journalist, you have a journalism degree, it took discipline to do that. For those of you who don't know Kay from the hair business, she's also the hair maven, that's her moniker, she's an entrepreneur. All of that created and required discipline. Can you talk to us about the discipline that it took to pull together this amazing book, and also just the discipline that you use in your daily life?
Well, I think that's a very good question. I think that one of the things, a central theme in the book, is that everybody is born with greatness. I truly believe that there is not a person who's absent or void of greatness. The question then becomes not, are you great? It is, will you unleash the greatness that's within? And so it's just a matter of, can you and will you tap into what's inside of you? And that requires discipline. And so I believe that it first of all takes a level of just gaining clarity of who you are, gaining clarity about what's happening in your life. Once you have that, then the next step is to just make a plan. Not just make a plan, but write down, and that's actually in the book. But I talk about writing down some tangible steps and then give yourself some accountability. So one of the things that I did is, once I knew that I was writing it, I started sharing with friends. And then I actually jumped as far as a release date before I had even started writing. And so that way, that kept me accountable, because now I want to be a woman of my word, and I don't want to sound like I'm just a big lofty dreamer without any actions. So then that then causes the follow through. But I think think one of the best ways to have discipline is start with the end in mind.
Right,
So move
right.
all the way to the end. Imagine what the end looks like, what
Right.
it feels like. Put yourself in that moment, celebrate that moment, and once you're done with that,
Right.
then go back and give yourself the steps to get to the end.
I absolutely love that, you guys. I hope you heard what she said, that you start with the end in mind. And in a lot of ways, you started even with the celebration, visioning yourself having finished. And not just that, she put a date on it. Something else that I heard you refer to, and you guys, tonight we've had just an amazing time at the book launch. And one of the things I heard her talk about was accountability. Do you think that accountability, or would you advise that, in order to bring the dream about, one of the things I've been saying is that thinking a dream is one thing. Actually making the dream come true is another. My question is, what role does accountability play in that process?
Oh my God, because, for whatever reason, I think it's sad. So sometimes we are more committed to not lying to others than we are to ourselves.
Right.
So we can tell ourselves that we have a dream, we have a vision, we're going to follow through on it, but it seems to give it more life when we share it with others.
Yes.
And so you have a sense of wanting to protect your word and protect your value, and then accountability partners help you. So when you start to fall off, when you start to get a little wax, because nothing worth having is easy.
Right.
So anything that you're going to do is going to require a little bit of challenge. It's going to become a little heavy. And so at some point, you're going to have somebody that can encourage you.
Yes.
And so accountability partners serve as an encouragement and to help you finish and follow through on your vision.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's all about finishing. It's all about follow through. Kay, I love you. I love this conversation. I love the inspiration. But you guys, I've got to get back to the book. So Unleash the Greatness. Kay, what's your favorite nugget? I know you've got to love it all, right? I know you've got to love it all because it all came from your heart. Is there one piece of the book or one nugget in the book that you share that really stands out as being one of the most touching for you?
Well, I think that I'm going to share two if you're okay.
Okay, sure.
So first of all, I think the first thing that I'd like to say is that there's one of the chapter, day 4, I talk about just as a man thinketh, and whatever you think becomes your reality. So the first thing I talk about is really controlling your thought life.
Right.
I believe that everything that you do, become, see, is manifested as a result of what you think.
Right.
So controlling your thought life is one nugget.
Yes.
The other thing is I shared a lot about my own physical health and things that I were going through, that I personally have been going through. And so I had to just kind of say to myself that this is only a test.
Yes.
And so if life is about learning, then God is a masterful teacher, and there is no way you would have any learning experience without a test.
Right.
So life tests us to make sure that we are learning the lessons that we are enduring.
That's
so
right.
Those are probably two nuggets. Now,
love
again, it's hard to say because I have a whole year or more worth of these these daily motivations, and I had to narrow it down to 31.
Wow.
So the 31 that I narrowed it down to are all kind of my favorites.
Right.
But those are two nuggets that I would share.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I love that, and hope you guys caught that what you think about, you bring about, and also that life is a test. One of the best teachers, in fact, and clearly your book is a testament that you passed that test. Okay, so our audience has to know, I know you're wanting to know, like, Alisa, hurry up and get to it. Where can we find the book?
Oh my God. So let me tell you, first of all, you can go to Amazon.com.
Right.
Unleash the Greatness Within. You can find it on Amazon, or you can go to KayFlewellen.com. That's Kayeflewellen.com, KayFlewellen.com. Or if you're in the DFW area, you can always come by Flewellen's Hair Salon.
That's
I
right.
have them there as well. So, but mainly you can go online and order them, and
That's
I'll make
right.
sure you get them. Or catch me somewhere speaking soon, and then
Right.
I'll have them with me.
Right. In fact, you guys, Unleash the Greatness is not just a book. As you've learned, this is Kay's life. So Kay is so many things and has so many roles. Not only is she the hair maven, not only is she an expert in her field, not only is she an educator in her field, she is also a motivational speaker. So I can't think of a better person to bring to unleash the greatness in you, to unleash the greatness in your event than Kay Flewellen. So you want to book her, you want to contact her. And in fact, Kay, if people want to follow you on social media, because the nuggets are in the book, but they're also your life. So you share them via social media all the time.
All the time. time. So you can follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page that's K Fluellen Motivation. And then you can find me on Twitter, which is K Fluellen on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. It's just a letter K Fluellen, KFLEWELLEN on Instagram. And so you can find me on those media platforms, social media platforms, and send me a shout out and I'll respond back.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have to ask, I know our time is coming to a close, but Kay, I have to ask you just one last thought. If you had a closing thought for our audience, just in case there's someone who is watching our stream, someone who's watching this video, and unfortunately they haven't unleashed the greatness in them yet. Instead of being at the top of the emotional roller coaster, they're at the bottom of the emotional roller coaster. They haven't yet received the book. They've ordered the book, right? You've ordered the book, but they haven't yet received the book, but they need just a bit of something, just a little nugget to take them the next step of the way. What would that piece of inspiration be?
I heard you tapped on two things, two of the daily devotions. One of them says, don't believe your feelings. Because we are emotional creatures.
Right.
We are led by our emotions.
Right.
And so sometimes we just feel like we're at the bottom of the bucket. It's just hard to just get ourselves above water. But you can't believe what you feel. You have to believe what you know. You have to know that the scripture tells you that you're above and not beneath, that you're ahead and not the tail.
Yes.
So you have to believe that there's greatness within you even though you haven't unleashed it.
That's right.
So you have to believe not what you feel, but what you know. That's one.
Right.
The next thing is, again, I would say, kind of consider your thoughts, consider what you're thinking, and then make a plan, take action.
Yes.
I have one of the daily devotions where we talk about there is purpose within you, and that if you understand your purpose, once you understand your why, it's so much easier to figure out the what.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I hope you heard that. If you understand your why, it's so much easier to figure out your what. Well, that nugget and so many more is in the book, Unleash the Greatness. We know you'll be ordering one. We can't wait to hear the feedback as a result, the testimonials as a result. I want you to check out Kay online, order the book today, and let us know what you think. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you, guys.